is a presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the Oklahoma Sports Network's consent is prohibited. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be used without express written consent.
Good evening and welcome to Burrito Mico on this awesome Taco Tuesday. Like I said, we're live here from Burrito Mico for the Elgin Owls Coaches Show. Got a great show on tap for you tonight. Got Coach Chalmer Wyatt here. Also got Brady Warren and Sage Rush here to talk a little bit about some things. Going to talk about the big victory over Douglas, 56-0 in homecoming victory. Had a great homecoming parade, dance, all that fun stuff, and got taken care of that. And then also we'll be discussing the upcoming big one Halloween night at the Tornado Bowl there against Clinton for the potential district title on the line. Obviously, we're the only team currently in District 4A1 that's undefeated. 2 games left on the schedule before we move into that playoff push. Said this week we've got to head on the road on Halloween night to go to Clinton, and then next Friday for the Wichita, with the Battle of the Wichitas, we'll be facing our big-time rival on senior night, Cash Bulldogs. Cash with a big victory over Clinton last week in double overtime, so they're obviously ready to face us in a couple of weeks. Clinton, coming off of that loss, is also going to be ready to try and solidify their playoff spot there in the district. So after a quick break, we will be back with Coach Chalmer Wyatt. But first, again, I want to thank Burrito Mico and Miguel and all the staff here at Burrito Mico for allowing us to have this coaches show here for you in Elgin, Oklahoma, every Tuesday night on Taco Tuesday. Got a great variety of tacos, burritos, moles, all kinds of fun stuff, and a full bar for you to enjoy everything that you can with the Mexican restaurant here at Burrito Mico. Miguel, like I said, does a great job. He's a huge supporter of the football team. Currently, he's headed out of here right now to feed the 7th grade team. So, like I said, does a ton of stuff for the community. Last year was named one of the sponsors and of the year for the football program. So, really happy for him to allow us to have this opportunity to bring you this show here in Elgin, Oklahoma. We'll be back after this break to talk a little bit more about the game and some stats, and then we'll have Coach Chalmer Wyatt on after that. You're watching the Elgin Owl Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Download our free apps on Apple and Android devices. Plus, find us on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. Search Oklahoma Sports Network and watch from anywhere.
They say the best way to be a good neighbor is to know your neighbors and give a little help when they need it. And when you need a little, you can find help at Ace Hardware in Elgin. Not only do they offer everything from grills to flowers, paint, hardware, and tools, they offer experience to help guide you through the process. And they're happy to take the time to make sure you can do it right. Ace Hardware of Elgin. They're more than just a hardware store. They're your neighbors. Ace Hardware, 7796 Highway 277 in Elgin.
And we're back here for the Elgin Owls Coaches Show from Burrito Mico here on a Taco Tuesday. Big victory over Douglas, like we talked about, 56-0. Second shutout in a row for the Jack Bakers defense, doing a great job. Obviously, 8 scoreless quarters in a row, and got a big formidable task this week against Clinton. But kind of give you a little rundown of the Douglas game. Caden Boletto was 5 for 9 for 218 yards with 4 touchdowns, career-high 4 touchdowns. That gives him 16 touchdowns through the air, and in the year also has 2 on the ground. Ritzenmeyer, kind of a ho-hum game for him, but still over 100 yards of total offense, 79 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, and also had a 29-yard touchdown reception, but that gives him 27 total touchdowns on the season. I believe that should put him at, I think he was 81 coming into that game, so 84 for his career. I believe we'll get those numbers from David, and we'll catch those on the air there from the Clinton Tornado Bowl this week. Tiny also had a 33-yard touchdown run. Gator also had a touchdown run as well. Joey Ariano had a 65-yard touchdown reception. And Brody Morrison had 2 catches for 107 yards, and with both of those catches going for big touchdowns. He's got 28 catches on the year for 501 yards and 5 touchdowns. 6 total touchdowns, also had that kickoff return earlier in the year as well. So overall, great performance by the boys on homecoming night. Ritzenmeyer was also named. Football also won the homecoming court, so Ritzenmeyer was the escort for there. So good job by Blue Sky winning the homecoming court as well. But yeah, like I said, overall great victory. We'll talk players of the game with Coach Wyatt coming up. Offensive player of the game named by the coaches was Caden Boletto. Defensive player of the game was Brody Morrison. Special teams, Ian Krins. Your sharpen your axes, Hudson Begley. And then your Rough Rider this week was Jackson Deal. So like I said, great overall performance by the entire team, offense, defense, and special teams. Obviously, when you can hold an opponent to 0 points and score 56, it's always a great day. Obviously, had a little bit of a weather delay, but at the end of the day, we were able to get that one done and over with, and 56-0. That gives us 22 straight victories for your Elgin Owls. That makes us 8-0 on the season with a 5-0 district record, the only undefeated team currently in District 4A1. So we're getting closer. We have solidified a playoff spot, so we do know, but at this point we're not sure who we're going to play. Depends on how these games kind of lay out the next 2 weeks. Obviously, if we can get by these next 2 weeks, we'll have potentially 2 home games if we can get through that first round. Looking like we will play somebody from that Tuttle district, the 4th placed team potentially, if we can continue to keep this train moving. Looking at maybe potentially Bethany, just to kind of give you an idea of where we're going from here. But a lot of football left to be played. Got big ones, like I said, Clinton's homecoming, so they decided to mark us as their homecoming opponent, but we will be there for everything live on the Oklahoma Sports Network beginning at 6:30 for our pregame show, and have all the action for you while you're out there trick-or-treating at 7 p.m. for the kickoff. And like I said, enjoy your Halloween, but also watch us live on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Then obviously after next week, big one against the Cash Bulldogs. Cash Bulldogs coming off of a big victory against Clinton this week at home. So they're obviously playing with a lot more vinegar and things like that and doing a lot better job. So that one's going to be a big matchup in the Battle of the Wichitas. But first one, we got Clinton ahead of us, and looking forward to that one. Always a fun place, always a fun time to play the Clinton Red Tornadoes. Heard a stat somewhere that we might not have ever won at Clinton, so I'll have to ask Coach Wyatt if he believes in that, or if that's a true stat. Kind of heard that through the grapevine today at a lunch I was at, and so it'll be interesting if we can get that first victory. If that is true, if we can get that first victory there in the Red Tornado Bowl. So we'll be right back after this break with Coach Chalmer Wyatt. You're watching the Elgin Owl Football Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
In 1958, the Hillary family purchased a small telephone company in their hometown of Medicine Park. Now in their 3rd generation, Hillary delivers state-of-the-art services across rural Oklahoma. From Main Street business owners and our future generation of leaders to farmers at the heart of our rural economies, Hillary is always innovating, consistently connecting, and relentlessly going where others won't. Because every community, every person matters.
And we're back here at Burrito Miko as we are every Tuesday at 6 p.m. during the season. Got head coach Chalmer Wyatt here with us. Coach, thanks for joining us. Obviously, first stint with you. We'll talk a little bit Douglas. Obviously, big win, 56-0. Had to move that game on Thursday because of the potential weather. And obviously, coming home Friday around 6:30, 7 o'clock. Glad we did.
Yes.
Started to come down. And when it first started on Thursday, we weren't too happy about it because we had a little bit of a weather delay there. But no rain hit, so it was a good way for us to get started. Obviously, homecoming's always a little bit of a weird week as it is for a coach. But come out, obviously, got through with the homecoming festivities, parade, and all that kind of stuff. Ritzenmeyer gets to wear the crown, so I know he was happy about that. And then at the end of the day, 56-0. So kind of take us a little bit about your initial thoughts of the game and kind of how you guys as coaches kind of saw the things and how everything went.
Yeah, never easy navigating that week, especially making the move to Thursday night.
Right. So late because, it was Tuesday by the time y'all y'all before or after practice, kind of during practice.
After practice by about the time we found out. And, I feel like we haven't had a normal week in a few weeks, and it's just been weird. And we've made good adjustments and kind of learned how to deal with it. Even going back to the Dallas game when we had the big rain delay there. So it's just handling adversity and handling homecoming, and did a good enough job of that going into the game, and did some good things. I thought we were really efficient early offensively, and then just dealing with the delay and all that. I thought we came out just a little bit flat on the other side, but dug our heels in and got to work, and that's the main thing. Just it was a good game to have a lot of things to build off of going into this week. So that was my main takeaway from the game, and it's kind of been an attitude change with our team this week, and it's been good to see. So I'm glad we took care of business Thursday night.
Talk about your defense, 8 quarters in a row with 2 shutouts in a row, obviously doing a great job. Coach Baker always does a great job, but like I said, early in the season, kind of breaking in some new players and things like that, kind of solidified the rotation now, and now back-to-back weeks with no points given up, and I know that makes Coach Baker happy. That number, that points per game is now under double digits, so I know that makes him extremely happy.
He's probably still not sleeping at night, but – we've had some guys improve each week, and that's even going back to the preseason, that's kind of what we wanted to see, and that's what guys are doing. And I think we're tackling better, and with the 8 quarters of shutout football, it's making them snap it again, and you do that by tackling and lining up correctly, and I think that we're doing a good job of that. And at the end of the day, it's when you have to drive the whole field. It's tough, and so we just got to make them snap it again, and first downs happen, whatever. But it's been proof in the pudding that if we can go and do that, then we can be successful.
Had him on the show last week, but one of the things that I've noticed about the defense is kind of the emergence of Tucker New. Obviously, kind of like I said, started the season okay, but the last couple of weeks has really come on, using his frame and blocking some balls down. I had the big interception against Weatherford, but also blocked a couple balls last week against Douglas as well. Talk about his emergence and how, like I said, that kind of solidifies that front three.
Yeah, he's been he can make any play on the field, and I think early it was just kind of knowing his assignment with when our fronts move and what gap and where to play, and as he goes on, he's getting better too. He's one of those guys we talk about improving, and just can make plays like he has. The Weatherford interception was freaky, and he's just long and plays with such a great motor. We talk about that. And when you can, play with a high motor, you can make mistakes and still be effective. And as he kind of gets really sound in his scheme and technique, I think he'll just keep getting better and better.
let's talk a little bit about the offense. Obviously, 56 points is nothing to sleep on, but like I said, kind of got a little rusty there towards the end of the first half, and then that first drive of the second half wasn't quite ideal. Obviously, we scored on that drive anyway, but it wasn't ideal. Talk a little bit about how keeping them focused throughout an entire game, because obviously we talked about it throughout this show a bunch of times about some complacency and things like that, but talk about it kind of in-game, because a couple times during the second quarters with our starters kind of put our foot off the gas or kind of put it in neutral, however you want to say it. And so talk a little bit about kind of how we need to improve in that area.
Yeah, I think it's just a focus thing. I think that, I think we've been really efficient with our first drive of the last few ball games. And, when we're efficient, and, I think we had an 8-play drive at Weatherford on the road and went down and scored. Same thing. We hit Douglas early with a big play to Brody. And it's just focused, you can't take your foot off the gas. Like, that's a good way to put it. And just have the intentionality. Each drive we get the football, our intent is to go score. And you can't do that by taking a play off. It's got to be all 11 guys doing the same thing, and that's what we've got to get to. And just like everything we're doing, we're still growing, and that's the great thing about it. And we look to hammer that in. It's been a point of emphasis. We've tweaked some things in practice to be able to go finish those drives and change it up on the kids. And I think that they've responded well. And that's a big area we look to improve on. Especially this week going into the big game.
Special teams, obviously, Ian Krenz has continued to be a big weapon for us. I think David sent us a text. David wasn't able to make it to the game this week. He was doing a race and haven't heard how he did, so we'll have to find that out to make sure that we can get that on air for him. But like I said, I think he said maybe 10 to 11 touchbacks now. Talked a little bit last week with Coach Baker about it, but talk about what that does for the defense and just for the entire morale of the team at times.
Yeah, it goes back to, how we've been playing defensively. When teams start on the 20, 25 to 20-yard line on drives, it's just tough. If we can line up, be sound, and make plays, and especially if we get guys behind the chains, back there backed up, it's really tough. Especially early in the game, like we're at home, and if we can go up 7 and put the pressure on them when they have to start on the 20 coming out, that's when we really need to kind of take advantage of that. And it's been great. Ian's doing a great job, and we're tweaking our kickoff unit. I think they're flying down and doing some things better. I think Gage Elam's playing really well on kickoff. Just goes down, flies down in his lane, and he's a lot of times a big play is going to happen when he's down there around the ball. But the whole unit's playing well, and another unit that's got to get better. But Ian is really helped out our defense, and just overall field position in the game of football is important, and that's an aspect that we're a lot better in this year.
Talk a little bit about Gator. Like I said, he's getting a lot of carries in the second half in a lot of these games. And, you and I have talked kind of off air sometimes. You guys trust him, obviously, with the ball in his hands late in the games and things. So talk about kind of, like I said, how impressed you are with him and what he means to the team as an overall for the overall team. Yeah, he plays a huge role on this team, and you've got to have a bunch of guys like him to be successful. I think he's on 3 special teams and is getting some carries right now offensively, and he's always moving forward with the ball in his hands, which is big time to pick up those first downs in those situations. And it's just embrace what he's doing for this team as a senior, and he never says a word, just works hard. He's a guy that we're moving around just because he's been successful in his roles, right. and that's kind of how it works to get up the depth chart. And so just a great guy to have, impacts the game. I think he's had several solo tackles on kickoff to pin those guys deep, protects really well on punt. Weatherford ran a twist and he picks it up in A-gap just like he should, and just dependable, and proud of him for his growth and embracing and being a great teammate and making big plays for us along the way. So you're an old receiver, so let's talk about your receiving core. Obviously, a lot of those guys have really started to step up in the last couple of weeks. We knew what we had with Brody. We kind of knew what we had with Kaysen. Kaysen played a lot last year. But really the emergence of Joey and Corday has really made and solidified that entire receiving core. And like I said, Joey had the big 65-yard touchdown catch. Corday's doing a lot of things, both, like I said, not only on the offensive side of the ball, but also in the return game as well. Talk about how, like I said, those two guys kind of solidifying that receiving core has really helped the team out. Yeah, both those guys are really, really, really talented. Yeah. And, it's took them a little bit to get into their groove. Joey's coming off an injury last year.
Now he's kind of back into the swing of things and doing some good things offensively. I think he plays really hard. Being an undersized guy, I think he's really took pride in his blocking out wide as well. And, that's his job for us right now. One of his big jobs is lining up a receiver every snap and executing. And, he's playing with great energy. I think he's having fun, and he's getting better every week too, because there's things we tweak with him as he learns and gets experience. And, next time we have situations, he'll be ready to go ahead and make those adjustments. And really proud of him. And Corday, we've seen what he can do when the ball's in his hands.
Right.
And it's just, those guys getting experience and getting reps and building the trust in the staff to, give those guys the ball or call their number, whatever it may be. And they've got to realize that, the work doesn't stop. And, because, again, I talk about talent. They've got it. They just got to keep, working on the mental side of things. And they've been doing a good job improving in that aspect. And that's great to see because, they can impact the game at any time.
Yeah. All right, let's talk a little bit players of the week from the coach's perspective. Offensive player of the week, Caden Boletto, 5 for 9, 218 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Yep.
Hit probably, like I said, his most touchdowns in a game. Maybe not his best game, but 5 for 9 for 218. But like I said, the 4 touchdown passes.
Yes.
Talk a little bit, like I said, about him and, like I said, how he's progressed throughout the year. Looks a lot more comfortable now than he did early in the year. Now he's got 1,400 yards in the year, 16 total touchdowns. Like I said, really being that general out there and doing a good job. Like I said, like only 1 interception, so not many turnovers as well. But talk a little bit about his growth and where he needs to get better for us to get to where we want to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, first-year starter, you're going to want throws back, you're going to want snaps back, and all of that. And it's just making sure that you're attacking those things with the right mindset. And I think that he's doing a good job of that and getting better at that every day. And he's got a lot of pressure. He's got a lot of pressure to play that position here. And it ain't easy. And it's something that I'm hard on him about, how to respond the right way when adversity hits. And, I think he loves the game so much that he's willing to make those adjustments just because he wants to win, and he wants to play well. And it's a continual process with him and how it should be at the quarterback position, you know that.
Yeah.
And, but really proud of him. I thought he threw some really good footballs. Thursday night, I thought he missed some footballs too on some wide open guys, and that comes with the territory, and he's learning to take it snap by snap and let things roll off his back when it doesn't go well, and that's good. That's what you want. You don't want a guy that kind of just goes, crap, I missed, it's over. You got the next snap. But man, I'm really proud of him, and just it's fun to coach him because there's always something to coach with him and with his ability. It just it's good, and I'm proud of him for wanting to get better every week and not be satisfied with his effort and his performance and all that. Just got to keep growing, and he's doing a good job of it.
Yeah, I mean, his arm talent is kind of off the charts. It's like I said, great throw, quick release, and all that kind of stuff. He just kind of got to, like you said, he's doing a great job and got to learn kind of some of those little nuances that I always dig with him a little, because at the end of the day, like I said, quarterback, you get way too much of the credit, and you get way too much of the blame a lot of times. And like I said, some of those wide open receivers, sometimes those are the hardest balls to complete. Because you want to run it out there to them, and they're too easy. So I know you missed a couple of those, but like I said, at the end of the day, still a great 5 completions, 4 touchdowns. Can't complain about that. Clearly, defensive player of the game, Brody Morrison, obviously had the big game offensively with those 2 long touchdown catches, but also played a great game on the defensive side of the ball. What did you see from Brody to name him defensive player of the game?
Came downhill really well from the safety position, kind of with what Douglas was getting us. So he was able to get into the run fits and get down at the line of scrimmage to make tackles, and that's frustrating offensively when a guy can go do that and get down there. He's not in the run block scheme, and he's unaccounted for, and he's going down there and making tackles, for no gain. And, so that was the main thing that stuck out. I think he may have led the team in tackles Thursday as well, and he's doing a good job of kind of running the back end. Him and Bryce are in sync really well with the coverages that they can run there on their side, and just running the show well back there in the back end and having good eyes. And told him today, it was a great game and all that, but there's still, he can improve coming downhill, bringing his hands more, and all of those things. And but super proud of that senior leader, captain for us, and getting it done on both sides of the ball.
Got to give a shout out to the Honey Owl. Got a big interception, obviously.
Got him one.
He tells me he's going to get one every week, but it was good to find. I know he's been off a couple weeks without having one, but good to see him back getting that. Yes. Special teams, we talked a little bit about him, but Ian Ian Crins was named special teams player. Like I said, talked about him, and then also now, like I said, you've got that ability. Was it last week that he missed the field goal? Was that 2 weeks ago? But obviously in the game we were able to kick a 37, 38-yarder. Talk about how, like I said, that kind of changes some of the play designs and some of the play calls potentially on third downs and whatnot when you know you have that weapon there.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's different than years past. He's got a really strong leg. Right. And so, it gives us opportunity if we want. We can change up our play calling there if we get to third and fourth down. In areas of the field. It's just a good weapon to have and a good option for us when we don't like anything offensively.
Has he learned a little bit more about football yet, or is he still just a little squirrely about it?
Yeah, we got him on huddle this week, and he studies the opposing team's return men. And so he's like, Coach, I've already watched. We ain't kicking it to this guy. But that's great. It's him being proactive and all those things. And, he's really worried about where he should be as a safety on kickoff. Okay. Hey, look, you just put that ball where we want it, and then we'll get to that point when we get there.
Like I said, for those that not just now joining us, doesn't know the story, came in about a week in the practice or so, about a week before the first game. Had never really kicked a football in a live game or anything, and now he's got 11 touchbacks, a couple field goals, and rarely misses an extra point. So great story there. Sharpen your axe, Hudson Begley. I mean, kind of the epitome of that Sharpen Your Axe award. Probably could, one of those ones that you can almost name that every week. But talk about what the importance is of HUD on both sides of the ball and just to the team in general.
Yeah, very consistent. He's a force at the line of scrimmage, and that's what you got to have. You got to have a guy like that can kind of control the trenches, and he's a guy that we can move around on the D-line. He's smart. He can play, all three spots, and really like him at 4 technique. I think he plays that position really well. Plays with his pads over and gets in his gap. And offensively, he's been really, really solid. And now that he's gotten into good game shape, you see him performing well more throughout a whole game. And that's just kind of takes a little time for those big guys to get in shape to be able to do that.
Right.
And, but it's, we can put anything on his plate, and he's going to attack it and get it done for us because, whatever the team needs is kind of his mentality, and and he's a guy that's going to keep getting better too, and that's great to see, and he's doing a good job on both sides.
Talk a little bit about his versatility, because obviously on third down we kind of bring Caleb in, kind of get that little bit more of a pass rushing type deal. So I mean, he moves down into the middle there. I mean, talk about how, like I said, his versatility really helps out in that end, because it's tough to kind of be able to move and play both of those positions because there's different things that are asked out of you in those.
Yeah, third down, we get in a passing situation. That's where he's best at, probably getting a pass rush there in the middle, getting some press on the center, being able to play A-gap to A-gap. Would do a better job there for us. If the quarterback were to take off between the tackles, I think he could, get to gap there. And it kind of gives us a different element with Caleb in rushing the passer on that side. But it's all because of Hudson can do that.
Right.
That we're able to do that. And so it's a good wrinkle for us, and just shows a little bit about Hudson's versatility as well.
Last but not least, Rough Rider of the Week was Jackson Deal.
Yeah, Jackson, I was talking about him today. He's improved tremendously from last season. And sliding over to guard, he's done a really good job in improving, his path on his pulls, and, getting his nose across on zone and all those things that we're hard on him about. And we are hard on him, and he takes coaching really well. And just big improvement from last year to this year is what I've seen. And I think he graded 87, I believe. Super solid game from Jackson. And, at Rough Rider, there's been about 3 guys that's kind of been fighting for that award each week. Yeah. And, it was good to give it to Jackson. I thought he earned it and played hard. And, a guy that, again, just kind of the mantra of this team. Everybody's kind of getting better, and he's one of those big guys that, is really intentional with practice, and you see that on Friday nights.
Sounds good. Well, that kind of puts a bow on the, like I said, that kind of wraps that up as far as the Douglas game go. Big, huge victory, 56-0, homecoming game. So I was happy to see everybody there for all the festivities, the parade, all that fun stuff. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll come back and talk a little bit about the rest of the season and obviously the big one, Halloween night against the Clinton Tornadoes. You're watching the Elgin Iowa Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Sidelined by surgery, illness, injury? Valor Physical Therapy can help. At Valor PT, our skilled therapists create a rehabilitation program individualized for you, with education and encouragement each step of the way. Whether it's sports or the activities of life, let Valor get you back in the game. Start now at 405-609-3637. No referral needed. Mention this ad and get a free t-shirt at your first appointment.
If you're someone who feels anxious or scared about going to the dentist, you're not alone. We're here to make sure you feel completely comfortable every step of the way. And at our office, we believe in treating more than just teeth. We focus on you as a person. And with Sedation Dentistry, you can experience the care you need without fear and without pain. And with Sedation Dentistry, we can make your dreams come true.
Celebrating 10 years. We are the Oklahoma Sports Network.
We're here at Burrito Miko, as we always are on Tuesday nights, here with Coach Wyatt. Just went over the Douglas game, obviously big one this week with Clinton. Clinton coming off of a loss at Ulrich Stadium there to the Cash Bulldogs in double overtime. So what's your kind of first initial thoughts of Clinton? Obviously coming in, they were undefeated going into that game, so a lot of people thought that this was going to be kind of a undefeated matchup. Obviously they fell to Cash last week, but still a big one. And I heard from someone that the Owls have not won at Clinton. Is that correct?
As far as my knowledge goes, so at least since we started playing them, we've never won at Clinton.
Okay. So talk about your initial first impressions. Kind of, so obviously, it's Tuesday. You kind of had an opportunity, obviously, to watch the film and kind of get to know those guys a little bit better. What's your initial thoughts on Clinton, and what should we prepare for?
Yeah, you could turn the tape on of any Clinton team, and they're going to look the same. The last 20 years, and they're really, really solid in what they do schematically. They play really hard on the offensive line. They always have. They play hard and they get to the right shoulder and they play with great technique, and they're going to run the toss and lead it with the quarterback. It's just what they've done, and it's really
as an
effective.
old quarterback, I would not want to do that.
You'd probably flick it out and go get some yards, buddy. That's just part of their hard-nosed culture.
Right.
I think that's a prerequisite to play quarterback there. And defensively, it's the same story. They're going to do what they've done forever, and they're going to be solid in what they do, and it's why they're Clinton. How many state titles they have and all of that.
Right.
And going there is going to be a challenge. We've been preparing our guys for that. They've got a really solid quarterback that is a sophomore now, that plays quarterback and linebacker. His older brother was there a few years ago when they won it in 21.
Yeah.
Really solid. And they've got some guys, one's really quick. They move him to running back, receiver. He's a double move guy. He can get vertical and just kind of do what they do, try to lull you to sleep, try to hit the tight end over the middle, and all of the things that's made them successful. They're still doing it. And, they stubbed their toe last week, and, you can look at it one or two ways. I think that they're going to be pissed off and ready to go and back at home and homecoming and all of that. And so it's all the things that, that we have taught our guys since summer, to be prepared for. These are the moments that why we do what we do. And, week 9 going to Clinton for a district championship. And, I think we've had a really good Monday and Tuesday at practice, and we got to continue that tomorrow. But, this is a big time game for us.
Yeah, obviously it is a district championship on the line. If we were able to pull the victory out first time ever in Clinton, then we would be named district champs, because that would give them 2 losses, us undefeated. So no matter what happens potentially in that Cash game, but obviously everybody around here is gonna still want to take care of business against Cash, obviously. But so the district title is on the line. Talk a little bit. I know this is one of the mantras, and everybody kind of talks about it all the time, keeping the main thing the main thing. Mm-hmm. Talk a little bit about what that means and how it's really important at this part of the season.
Yeah, it just kind of goes back to preparing in the summer. We prepare for these moments, these games, these weeks, and it's here. And so now it's just, it's nothing we have to do special, but we have to do, the little things in a big way. And that's part of keeping the main thing, being consistent at practice and and knowing that what we do during the week will be a reflection of how we play on Friday. And, it's rinse, repeat. A lot of it goes back to, sharpen your axe. We're going to prepare way more than we're ever going to play. And that's just where we're at and what we like to do. And it's just exciting to get to this point and be able to now it's here to prepare for it and do the things that we need to do on both sides of the ball and, make the bus trip and be prepared and be fired up and be ready to go.
Can you believe it's already week 9?
No,
no. Not at all. It seems like not long ago we were talking week 0 in MAC, but like I said, we're sitting here in week 9, getting ready to roll into Clinton, obviously for a potential district title on the line. As we sit here today, what do you think is the thing that you guys need to improve on the best in order to potentially get to that week 14 that we strive for?
Yeah, I think just being complimentary to eich other, and winning special teams. I think that's, those 3 keys for us. I think that, it alludes to what I said defensively earlier, getting lined up right and tackling and making big plays when they present themselves offensively, finish drives, talk about having that mentality that every time we get the ball, we got to go score.
Yeah.
And there's going to be times when you've got to punt it away, and that's part of playing complimentary football and letting
every
defense
drive with
go.
a kick.
Yeah. But, I mean, it just for the Elgin Owls, it's just us getting better, and I really have seen that, and I'm glad that we're still at that phase where we're not tapped out.
Yeah.
And, you want to be playing your best ball at the end of the year, and as far as I'm concerned, there's a trophy on the line this week.
Right.
There's a trophy on the line next week.
Right.
And then into the playoffs, and where it all matters. So just to be preparing the right way and being focused and locked in at this point, because it's flown by, yes, but it's also took a while to get here.
Right.
So that's where we're at, and that's where we want our kids to be at, and we continue to stress that to them. And it's everything you want,
Yeah.
And so be at your best.
And, we've yet to play a perfect game.
Right.
At this point, coaches will never say you play a perfect game at the end of the day. But we have some lulls here and there, both on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball, sometimes special teams as well. So, like I said, you got to just continue to, like I said, the little things are important.
Absolutely.
The fundamentals,
Absolutely.
it all comes back down to fundamentals and some of that type of stuff. Like I said, I always kind of focus on Caden because that's kind of what I know and whatnot. I talk to him about it all the time. Like I said, we get in that point, but like I said, in order for us to get to where we want to in week 13 and 14, like I said, you got to make sure that those little things are taken care of. And right now, you guys are doing a great job. Congratulations, 22 in a row. Kind of a crazy number to think about when you think about kind of how far you guys have come in the last several years. So congratulations to you, congratulations to the team, congratulations to the coaching staff, and looking forward to a big one Friday night, Halloween night in the Tornado Bowl. That's it's a little scary to think about because it's not an easy place to play, add Halloween on top of it. But good luck to you guys, and looking forward to bringing you all the live action, beginning with our pregame show at 6:30, and then kickoff set for 7 o'clock. You get to watch all the live action. If you're not able to make it and you're out there trick-or-treating with your kids, put it on the app, watch it on the phone, and then watch hopefully a huge, big victory for the Elgin Owls to make it 23 in a row and get that district title again. So you're watching the Elgin Owl Coaches Show. We'll be back right after this.
Through life's trials, Liberty National Bank has been with you all the way, listening, embracing your goals, working together with you to build the business you want or the life you want. We've supported our neighbors and local businesses for over a century, always putting people first. For you, we're in the banking business. For you, we're here. Liberty National Bank, with you all the way.
Paws Burgers in Elgin, featuring grilled salads, wraps, and 21 different burgers exploding with flavor. Home of the Butch Husky and Boom Paw Burger, U.S. Highway 277 in Elgin.
And welcome back here to Burrito Miko on this Taco Tuesday. Joined now by two seniors, Brady Warren and Sage Rush. Congratulations, guys, on the big homecoming victory. Big one, obviously, this week against the Clinton Red Tornadoes. Can't say just regular Tornadoes. They're the Red Tornadoes. I don't know what a red tornado is, but hey, we'll figure it out, I guess, on Friday night. Sage, let's start with you, man. Tell us who you are and what positions, and obviously you're a senior, but talk about the positions that you play and things like that.
Alrighty, I play free safety and A-back, so.
All right.
Mainly safety, though.
Mainly safety?
Yeah.
Okay. Talk a little bit about playing safety, kind of being that last line of defense and whatnot. Obviously, like I said, back there, I mean, you got some good people back there as well with Brody and some of those guys to learn from. Talk a little bit about kind of playing safety and how it is being that last line of defense on the defense.
I think safety is the best position on the field. You can read everything and just be smart. Film comes in to play a lot, so, yeah.
Brady, talk a little bit about what positions you play and some of that stuff.
I'm a right guard and left guard.
Okay.
O-line, yeah.
Talk a little bit about O-line. Like I said, O-line kind of, like I said, doesn't get a lot of publicity and things like that, but when you ever hear any coach talk about it, they say all the games are won at the line of scrimmage and talk about kind of, like I said, kind of how that unsung hero type stuff is and what that means for an offensive lineman.
Yeah, it's a big part of how we drive ourselves, and, our coach will always say they won't know you, but they'll only see when you fail.
Right.
See your successes.
Well, as an ex-quarterback, I love offensive linemen, trust me. So you guys do a great job, and you're coached by one of the best. Obviously, Coach Castro does a great job with you guys, but also played the position, so it makes it a little bit easier for him there. Sage, talk a little like was brother on the team last year, right?
Yes,
okay,
sir.
so obviously you've got a ring with him. Now you want to get one on your own, huh?
Exactly.
What's your future plans? What's the plans for next year, obviously, with you being a senior?
I'm thinking about attending SNU to bowl, so just like him. I mean, I got an offer to go bowl there, so I think I'm going to take it.
Okay, bowling, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Any other sports that you play for the Owls?
I did track, but I'm not very good at track. So.
Okay. Brady, talk about your future plans. Obviously, you just got accepted to OU. I think we talked a little bit about it before the show. So talk about kind of what you plan on majoring up there at OU and what's going on there.
I plan on majoring in business at OU.
Okay.
And figure out what I want to do. Just, look at all the stuff I need to do at OU.
All right, sounds good. All right, so we got two other questions for you guys. First off, Sage, what's your favorite subject in school?
I'll probably have to just go math, I guess.
Math,
yeah.
Okay. We've got a few maths throughout the years. Brady, going to ask you now, what's your favorite subject in school?
My favorite subject is history. I love history.
History, okay. That sounds good. Business major, not a bad thing to be in tune with. And then, like I said, I stole this one from my play-by-play guy, Billy, the last couple of weeks. Any of you guys have sisters?
Yeah, I do right there.
Okay. All right. So Billy asked this question, and it got a lot of publicity and got a lot of things. So who on the team would you not let date your sister?
I'm about to go with Avery Balch.
Avery Balch, okay. Okay, so Avery is one. Brady, what about you?
I'm going to go with Avery Balch.
Avery Balch, okay. That's the first answer we got there. Somebody last week said none of them.
That's pretty
And then I think Tucker came with Ritson. So, guys, congratulations again on an awesome year. Like I said, thanks for your senior leadership and things. And like I said, obviously off to a great start this year. 22 wins in a row overall, 8-0 on this season, 5-0. But obviously, what would a victory mean? So I don't know if you heard in the last session, the Owls have never won at Clinton.
I heard about that. Coach Bake let us know. So,
okay,
yeah.
So what would a victory Friday night mean, and your class being the first ones to ever get a victory at the Red Tornado Bowl?
It will mean a lot for us. I mean, we know Clinton's coming to play, so I think it's going to be huge.
All right. Well, guys, thanks a ton for joining us. We look forward to watching you guys on Friday night, and good luck to, obviously, your future endeavors. We wish the best of you. Like I said, football ends at some point, but we all got to grow up to be good men and all that kind of fun stuff. So good luck to you guys in your future endeavors. So we'll be right back after this break. You're watching the Elgin Iowa Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Scott's House of Flowers in Elgin has been proud to serve Elgin and the surrounding area with a wide variety of flowers and gifts for all occasions. Come see them for great gift ideas, including the exclusive Tyler candles. And who couldn't resist Sweet Shop USA, featuring handmade grand truffles. Scott's House of Flowers, just off Highway 277 in Elgin. Delivery available, or stop by for easy pickup. Phone 492-4880. Scott's House of Flowers.
And we're back here at Burrito Miko, as we are every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Thanks for joining us tonight. Obviously got a big game coming up, potentially our first ever win at Clinton. Looking forward to, obviously, all the festivities there for their homecoming. We'll be live at 6:30 for the pregame show. Kickoff set for 7. Enjoy your Halloween. Obviously, we'll have a lot of people viewing while they're out trick-or-treating with the little ones, but never fear. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on our app. You can find us on Roku, Apple TV, just about anywhere. You can download our app and catch all the live action, not just the Elgin Owls, but we also have a ton of other school channels as well. So look forward to you joining us live from the Tornado Bowl at 7 p.m. for the big kickoff for that game. So for Chris Balvance on computer, as he always is, stepdaddy extraordinaire, gave a little shout out there. You saw his fingers come in. And I'm Vincent Saylor, obviously always bringing you all the fun action here from Burrito Miko every Tuesday. Look forward to the big one on Friday. Hope you're able to come up to the game, but if not, join us on the Oklahoma Sports Network, where we'll have all the live action for you. As always, go Owls!
Thanks for watching this presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.